Hey guys, today's video is not really something for the customer. It's just one of my things. It's my modulator that I sometimes use with my iPad audio, and I was having some issues with it, so I hadn't used it for a little while. My audio was basically pulsating, and of course I tried to send a couple emails out and didn't really get a direct answer on why it was doing that, and I'm not sure if they even knew why it was doing it, and that's probably why I never got an answer. So I went in to investigate to try to figure out why it was pulsating. At first I thought it was the main chip in here, which is up under here, and that's going to be another story here in a minute too. But ended up finding out that my negative voltage supply, when I keyed down, it was going south on me. Basically it'd be -15, and then when I keyed down, for some reason it was dropping to 10. I mean, that's what I probably get for using an old wall wart type power supply. Basically one of the plug into the wall jobs that you would use for like a toy or accessory or something like that, and that's what I had used. It went south, needless to say. And basically I thought it was an audio issue where I was pumping too much audio into the radio, but when I kept looking at the scope, it wasn't matching up with the scope, and things just wasn't right. Needless to say, I kept trying to change out the transistor in the back, and that wasn't working, so we started doing a little checking. But let me give you a rundown of what we got going on, and this is what I ended up doing. I ended up going with the power supply that all those guys go with, but I did mine just a little differently than they do. What I did is, these guys have been buying this one certain power supply with the Motormouth Maul Modulators that need 3 different voltages, and they're tapping all 3 voltages off that supply. Well, that's good, and it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, and as you see, what I did is I took it out of the power supply's case, because it was an open frame that I'd bought, and I mounted everything on the bottom side of this 3-pill case that I had gotten. Basically, I went ahead and tapped all 3 voltages just like them guys do, and my problem that I was running into was my plus 24 volts was actually dropping, and I didn't like that. Basically I'd lost a couple watts out the radio with it dropping like that. I mean, it rested like 26 something, but when I'd key down it dropped to like 22.5 or something like that, and I wasn't crazy about that. So what we did is we're utilizing the one power supply that all the other guys are using, and it's on the bottom, and I'm only pulling my 15 plus and my 15 negative off of that. And then this right here is my old 24 volt supply that I originally bought. And what's funny is when I key, it stays right at 24. When I key down, it stays at 24. It never drops a lick. So that was a plus or win-win for me on that. Now, to give you a little rundown of what I got going on here, basically this is an on and off switch for the thing. I fused all the supplies. We've got my basically my input, my output for my audio, and then if you look down here in the center, I put a tap for the positive 15 volts. So if I ever wanted to hook a meter or accessory or something of that nature up, I put it right here on an adapter. And then in the front, I haven't tagged everything yet. I still got to do that. But in the front here, I got 3 meters so I can watch what's going on. Positive 24, my negative 15, and my positive 15. And then I've got my dead keys here, my mic gain, and my asymmetry setting. And then one thing that I do on most of my audio processing equipment, most guys don't do this, is I put a 1-to-1 600 ohm to 600 ohm transformer in, which is right here, okay, going to my audio line. And that eliminates any hums, squeals, things of that nature that could happen. Another thing that most guys don't even think about is I put a ground loop I built my own ground loop isolator, and if you look here in the back, where the green wire is, you got a 1.2K resistor back there hooked with a couple diodes and a few other things, and that eliminates any ground loops that you may get, because you're dealing with different supplies, the board, the radio's ground. There's just so many grounds going on that you could create a ground loop, and that could create squeals and stuff too. Then if you notice here, the 2 orange discs in the back, they come off my power, and that's going to create, basically what that's going to do is any RF that tries to feed back, it won't go through my electricity line, and then filter into other equipment too, because that can happen also. So that's basically, they're there to block any RF from going anywhere. And then there's some other tricks that I do on these things, any of my hi-fi stuff. I mean, you can't see it in here because it's kind of all hidden, but you know, this is all going to work. Now let me plug this rascal in, and I'm not gonna, I might do a video with me firing this up with my iPad audio, but let me just give you all a lowdown of how everything rocks and rolls. Now, just to let y'all know, I did do some real thick adhesive tape here, and the reason being is this 24-volt supply has two pieces of heatsink here. One of them's hot, it seems like, and the other one's not. I did touch them, you know, bodily touch them. Didn't do it on purpose, but I felt a little twinge, so that's telling me that they must be getting some type of voltage there. So to be safe and not have the lid, you know, when I put it on there, I got enough space, but I just wanted to, it's better to be safe than sorry, if you know what I'm saying. Switch in the back here, that turns it on. Let me see. And as you see, that's a little LED light. Fan's got a blue light in it. Boy, I do like the blue. And here's the face of it. So as you see, my 24.5, that's my 24 volts. My negative is at 14.9, and my positive is at 15.1. Now I measured it with the multimeter, and the negative was at 15. So I don't know, digital meters. You know, these are eBay jobs. I didn't pay much for, but there you go. I hope you guys enjoy it, and you know, Stickman don't get much time to do his own stuff, but when he does, you know, he tries to do what he can. I am a talker on the radio. I'm not like them other techs out there in the world that don't never talk on the radio. I talk. So hope y'all enjoy it. We might do another video with this under fire, so we may be back. We'll see you, Stickman. Guys, figured we'd extend the video just a little bit, show you some upgrades we've done here at the NoName system here, man, for the base station we're using. But basically, we've done some upgrades over the past few months. One of them is I bought a new iPad. Went to the iPad Air 2 versus the iPad 2 is what I had before. Got this one on a good deal. Bought it off eBay. But really picked it up for a sweet offer. Brand new in the box too, man, so really couldn't pass that up. We went to it, and it seems to be working out really good. I wasn't having any problems with the other iPad, but I just, in my mind, thinking with the faster chip and the newer iPad and some of the upgraded options surrounding around it, I figured it would just be a better deal. And as far as the Stomp Box program is concerned, I didn't really get that huge of a difference in this, but as far as some of the other stuff I do with my iPad, because I don't always just use it for the audio stuff. I mean, I do some other things with it. I play a stupid game on it, and I get my emails, and I cruise the news and all kinds of crap like that, and it did help all of them other applications out tremendously. But as far as the Stomp Box, I really didn't see a big major improvement. I got a few different things by upgrading. I didn't have to run my bass as high, as you see where my bass level is set. Let me see if we can clear that up a little bit. 734, it used to be up around 9, so I had to cut that back just a little bit. Some of my settings changed just a little bit, and I don't know if that has something to do with the faster processor or what, but that was one of the things we did. The other thing we did was, of course, upgrade the Motormouth Maul Modulator setup, which I've got the iPad tapped into that. And like I've told everybody, when you're using the iPad, you got to have a little oomph to go with that to really drive that modulator, because the iPad's just not enough oomph in it. I'm told his new modulator, which I'm going to purchase, doesn't require that much oomph into it, plus it only requires one power supply, which is great. I just haven't gotten one yet. So basically, to give it the oomph, I use my my mixer, which I've used my mixer all the time anyways, because I tap in my computer up here into my system, and I need the mixer to do that. So basically, I sit here and get stupid on 19 and whatnot, playing sound effects. I've got millions, as you see, all these folders are nothing but sound effects. So I've got probably over 5,000 sound effects, and then over here behind my scope, I could play any music I want to, and the guys claim it sounds just like it was on stereo. So there you go. And then that's my program I use to monitor all my audio, which is the REA Modulation Monitor software. And basically I've taken all that and adapted it into my Yaesu meter, which I use that meter for my drivers only. So I like to monitor my drive watts. And of course my Dave made digital meter, I use that just to monitor my peak watts. Another upgrade we did is I went to the, I got a new boom. The other boom kept sagging on me. I got tired of lifting it up all the time and doing this and doing that. So I went and bought a real boom. Changed mics out. Went with an EV 320 electric voice RE. I'm sorry, 320 mic. I was going to get the 27 and the 20, and I just kept watching YouTube videos. Now this is just basically a spit cover instead of putting foam on it. That's all that is. I'm still thinking about getting a shock mount. Not real sure if I need that or not. But we run that into my little 3-pill here, which is most of the time I've got the 1-pill section turned off, so I just use the 2-pill, and then I use that into my Henry, and then that into the big amp, which if y'all remember the Junkyard 24, this is what it's moved into. We've moved into this. I like this cabinet a little bit better because it fits on my power supply a little bit better. Right now the power supply is sideways, but when I turn it to put it the way it's supposed to, this will sit on there perfectly instead of overhanging like the other case did, the Dave made style case. So I got this off of a rebuild deal I'm doing for a guy. We're actually going to make him a bigger amp, so kind of worked out a little deal to where I'm going to keep the case, the heatsink, and the copper board, and then I put my pills and some of my parts and components from the other amp into this, into my 24, and you know, that's what we use here in the shop. So it works out perfectly. I have no problem seeing the big numbers. Still got to get the fans on it. I just ain't had time to work on my own stuff because we're always working on everybody else's. As you see, brand new bass amp 2-pill. We're going to be making a video of that today. We got a 3-pill over here, getting ready to be finished up today. Just did a 6-pill yesterday. Few radios. So, you know, we're busy here at the NoName Amps CB shop. But right now I've been using the Madison radio for my Motormouth Maul Modulator. I like to use my 29, but I keep flipping between the two. Can't really decide on which one's better. I like the Madison because the receiver is a little bit quieter than the 29 is, but I am working on something for that. We're going to try to adapt SDR for one of these radios so we can use the computer for the receive. I still need to get working on that. I got some ideas on it, but haven't really implemented them. The ham guys are doing it already. I don't know why we can't do it in the CB, so we're going to work on that. Of course, my key up. So there you go. There's a rundown of what we're doing. You know, using the mixer board to tie in the computer and the modulator. It gives me the info I need, and the iPad. Somebody had questioned me wanting to know if I'm still using the iPad. Yes. I use this every day, like religiously. This is my holy grail, man. This is Stickman. All his audio is right here, and I love it. I'm not, I mean, I'm really been hard pressed or convinced to change up to one of the computer programs like Pro Tools, or I hear the guys are now using Live Professor. I can't take the latency that they have, the delay in the headphones. I don't get that with the iPad. I mean, some of the guys, it doesn't bother them none, but I like to monitor my audio, and that delay just messes me up. That's just me, though. And you know, with the iPad, I've showed you all the different ways to do the iPad. You can hook it in through the mic of the radio. You can use the modulator. You can direct inject. I mean, I found probably 20 different radios I've used this thing with, and it's worked flawlessly in all of them. No problem. But, you know, I switch radios like people switch underwear. So, you know, you might see this one in line today. Come tomorrow, could be my Grant, could be a 959, could be a Cobra 20, who knows? I try everything, and I don't ever settle on one thing. Hope y'all enjoy the videos, man. If y'all want any more information, just give me a shout. I'll help you out. Old Stickman at the NoName Amps CD shop, and we are gone.